Welcome to Eventful Endeavors, secrets to crafting the perfect celebration. If you're planning an event and looking for useful tips from industry experts, you're in the right place. So get ready to take some notes and we'll dive right in. This is Eventful Endeavors. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Eventful Endeavors. I am your host, Mike Sherman, with Felix and Fingers Dueling Pianos. Today, I am here with Danica Keeton, the owner and wedding planner for Wed by Danica. I'm so excited to have her here with me today. She is not only the owner and head planner of Weddings by Danica and RFD Weddings. She has over 6 years of experience in the wedding industry. Danica brings her expertise as a certified wedding and event planner, specializing in LGBTQ plus weddings through her accreditation with Equality Wed. Her journey began in nonprofit event planning and fundraising, where she honed her skills in creating unforgettable experiences. Danica is not only a wedding planner, she is your dedicated wedding planning bestie. As an equality enthusiast, she is passionate about every detail of your special day, from understanding and respecting your wedding party's pronouns to capturing your unique vision, down to the intricacies of your centerpieces. Her goal is to ensure a stress-free wedding experience that celebrates your love authentically. I love that. Let Danica bring her passion and expertise to your wedding journey. Connect with her today to start planning the wedding of your dreams. Love that. How did I do? Did I kind of capture your background in as much of a nutshell as we could?
Absolutely. Thank you for the wonderful intro.
Yes. Well, thank you again for joining me today. I always like to ask, and I know we've chatted a little bit before, but tell me a little bit about your journey. What kind of got you started in the event planning, the wedding industry? What kind of brought you there? Because I always love hearing
my
stories.
goodness. It's been a wild ride. So I never really thought I would be in this industry. I actually went to school to be a vet. I was in science classes, biology, and I luckily went to a liberal arts college where you're kind of forced to take different classes. And I stumbled upon a public relations class. And literally by the second class, I'm like, okay, I think I need to change my major. And luckily was able to fit in the communications major my senior year. Was just a little stressful, but it obviously worked out in my favor. I started planning different nonprofit events on campus. I worked with organizations like the local botanical center, the International Family Therapy Association, and really was just trying to help nonprofits kind of get connected in the community with different events. And it slowly morphed into the wedding space after I got engaged. And I just kind of fell in love with the wedding industry. There's just such a great community, as you know, Mike, the vendors in the area, the couples we get to work with, and I've just completely fallen in love with this space.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. I know that's kind of the best part about the industry that a lot of, I think, even brides and grooms don't see, is just kind of the relationships the vendors have with each other, and you get to see each other. I mean, there's like photographers I've worked with like over a dozen times. It's like you're like, oh, you're here, cool.
Yep, yeah. Some of them become your best friends, and it's great.
Yeah. No, that's all. And just with social media and everything too, it's just a cool way to connect and talk about, and we only talk about good things about brides and grooms for sure. Never complain.
Oh, yes. It's fun to exchange a horror story or two. Yeah, focus on the good.
But I mean, if you have good vendors, it's like there's not going to be very many horror stories, if any.
Yes, exactly. Oh my goodness, yes.
Well, tell me this now. Did you get into this trying to get into the more of the world of the LGBTQ plus weddings? Did that kind of happen accidentally, or because that seems to be a big part of what you focus on. So was that intentional?
Yeah, I've always been surrounded by a very diverse friend group, which I am so fortunate with. And when I started in the wedding industry, I always made it a point to be as inclusive as possible, regardless of someone's gender or sexuality or the color of their skin or what they believe religiously. I really don't care. So as I really got involved in the wedding industry, I heard a lot of feedback from couples where something as simple as asking for a pronoun or not referring to people as bride and groom, as couples, marriers. I really noticed a lot of that, and I made it a commitment to make sure I was providing a safe, inclusive space for all of my couples, for all the vendors, for anyone that identifies as LGBTQ plus or as an ally. So I've gone out of my way to do different education focusing on that topic because I think it's such an important thing, especially in this area, to make sure everyone feels welcomed and loved, especially as they're planning their wedding.
No, that's amazing. And we love that too. I mean, absolutely. It's so important. It's just about love. Don't worry about everything else. And yeah,
Exactly.
we've all seen the horror stories of, I mean, two men up there getting married and the officiant says bride and groom. And you're like, oh,
Yep.
like, so yeah, it's great that you put such an emphasis on that.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And I'm really trying to work with other people to kind of educate vendors because it's just those little things like
Yeah.
changing your inquiry form, partner one and partner two instead of bride and groom. So we can
Yeah,
all make
we changed
small
it to this is what's your first name, and then we say your better half. So it's like
yeah.
so, yeah. We like went through and it's like it's not necessarily father-daughter dance. It's like these are dances. What are the titles of the people dancing? You know, it's like
Yes.
we need to like go through and really kind of look with a fine-tooth comb. And it's like you don't think about those things.
Oh, yes. And even I catch myself. I was just editing my website this morning. I still had somewhere that said bridal party instead of wedding party.
Right.
And it's like those little things that even someone like myself, like it's really easy to unfortunately step back in your old ways. So definitely always vetting that stuff and seeking, feedback from other people too is just so important.
Yeah, gosh, I'm pretty sure ours says wedding party, but now I'm paranoid and I'm going to go check after our meetings. I think we caught that one. So, oh, that's amazing. Well, you spoke a little bit about education. I know you had mentioned you have some workshops coming up. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. And what is that a big part of kind of what you do? And tell me some about that.
Yeah, so I actually just became a full-time wedding planner. So I've been doing this for over 6 years already, but as of March of this year, I quit my day job. I was in the marketing world. And one of the things that I've wanted to focus on is doing more education. So we do have a few workshops coming up. I'm partnering with Tadmore Tailoring in Rockford to do some more sustainable workshops. So we're actually going to be doing exactly 1 month from today on May 25th, a vision board workshop where we're going to be working with couples to help them kind of narrow down all the different things that can be planned for their wedding, kind of identify their top three, work on some budget pieces, and then actually create a mood board that they'll be able to share with their vendors. So we're super excited about that. We're going to have like magazines, Chicago Style Weddings. They donated quite a few magazines that we can use. We'll have dress scraps and fabrics and all that kind of stuff. So we can really play with colors and textures and so many different things.
Oh, I love that. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure these things happen. I'm just like I'm not even aware of this world and like that these resources are available to brides because I mean, and grooms, it's like what an overwhelming time of your lives it is. So it's great to have something like that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And just gives us a chance to kind of help guide them in that process because so many couples are like, I have no clue where to start. And we're hoping that we can help with that process just through this one workshop.
Awesome. Now, are you based in the Rockford area? I couldn't remember exactly if that's kind of your home or okay. I knew you were kind of Chicago giant area, Illinois. So okay, great. I'll be in Rockford on this Saturday. I'm at the Standard for a wedding out there.
Oh,
so
awesome. I love that venue. It's super pretty.
It's one of my favorites. So I figured, give them a little shout out while we're here. But yes. No. So I love going out there and it's great. Where do you, I mean, do you try and stick mostly to Rockford? Do you do a lot of like Chicago, Madison, kind of out in that area, or where's your?
Cow. I will go anywhere that someone wants to send me. So we tend to stay in Illinois and Wisconsin are the most normal. I'm located in Rockton, so like right on the border of Illinois and Wisconsin. So it takes me 5 minutes to get to Beloit and equidistant Chicago, Madison, Milwaukee. So we'll go anywhere. I'm starting to get into destination weddings too.
Nice.
I'm actually helping a couple plan their wedding potentially out in the Boston area. So I'm really excited for that. But I'm working on becoming a certified travel agent too is my next little endeavor. So we can help with destination weddings, your honeymoon, all that kind of stuff.
Nice. Great. Well, I'm heading to Cancun this weekend, actually. So I'll make sure to let you know if I get any hot tips when I'm down there. So.
Perfect. Love Cancun. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we're doing a little company trip. Some of our sales team and other people like that, we're going down together. So it'll be fun.
That'll be great. Start some dueling pianos in the lobby of your resort.
Exactly. I did one wedding in Cancun a couple years ago too, which was very fun. Where they were like, come down and do the wedding. The only problem is you have to stay for 4 days because that's the only package they have. And so we're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll stay for 4 days. That was great. It was a lot of fun. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So talk to me about this. You mentioned that you're getting ready to kind of launch some other maybe sides of the company, more like engagement planning, wedding consultation, some stuff like that. So kind of, yeah, what's that looking like right now? Where are we at?
Yeah. Yeah, so what I've noticed is, yes, we have like wedding planning and coordination packages, but they're not like one size fit all. There's so many different needs that a couple can have, budget constraints, all that kind of stuff. So we're trying to come up with some different things that can help couples at any point in that wedding planning process. So we're going to be adding engagement planning. So anyone who's planning to propose to someone, whether you're both planning it and we need to work on both of those together, or it truly is a big surprise that you don't want your partner to know about. So we're working with some other vendors to have some inclusive packages for that. So think your florist, your photographer, us coordinating the whole thing, trying to pull in some restaurants in the area as well. And then we're also working on like bridal showers and bachelorette party planning. And then the consulting piece is what I'm most excited about, because that'll be an hourly service. So say you're a DIY person, making a bunch of stuff for your wedding. Well, it's like, okay, what else do I need to figure out? What kind of decor do I need to think about? Like, who can I work with to set this up? And we help you come up with a whole game plan or kind of figure out one certain area of your wedding that you're struggling with. So it's very just hands-on for someone that may just feel a little stuck, but they don't think they need a full wedding planner or a day of coordinator or event manager.
Yeah, no, that's so amazing. And then just in general, tell me this too. I mean, do you do more like day of coordinating, or do you do more like the full scale event planning, or is there one you kind of specialize in? I know some people it's kind of one or the other or both, or it's kind of whatever the bride needs. So I'm always curious about that.
So we probably do a lot more day of coordinating or event management, just because that seems to be the couples that we end up with. So we do a lot of, I call them the mid-tier weddings. So budgets about 20,000 to 60,000, which sounds like quite a range. But we work with them to really keep everything, in a central area. All of our clients, they get access to a client portal, which is actually a whole website we built out for them to help
Nice.
them track all the planning details, all of the little details, all of their vendors. We give them access to a bunch of different worksheets and tips too to help just keep everything, flowing. And so you don't feel like you're forgetting things or you have
Mhm.
this big lull where you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed right now because I don't know what I need to be doing.
Yeah. Oh no, that's amazing. Yes, that sounds awesome. Well, great. So let me jump over into the, a little bit more specifics to kind of the wedding industry. I mean, just in your expertise, what's kind of in right now? Like, what are some trends that are kind of coming up this year, like maybe in the future, and what's kind of on the way out? Like, I mean, I certainly
Oh,
have my thoughts on it all, and I always get different answers. So I'm always curious. So
right.
yeah, what are people into these days?
Holy cow. I feel like the things that people are starting to get really into is definitely more of the entertainment aspect. So instead of just having like your DJ or dueling pianos or something like that, they're bringing more in.
Hmm.
I've seen weddings that have like performers there, that have like dancers in really cool outfits. I
Oh
saw
yeah.
someone in a dress that held like champagne flutes full of champagne that guests could walk up and grab it off this like really cool looking metal contraption that someone
Oh,
wore.
cool.
People are just, it seems like they're really focused on that guest experience, which I
Hmm.
think is really cool. And then probably the decor. Everything seems to be getting a lot more personalized, and people are really pulling in like what makes them a unique couple. Like my partner and I, we are very, very nerdy. So it was all these little things like he plays Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
So we had floating candles, and usually you'll put like rocks or something in there. We used clear D20 dice or polyhedron type dice
Nice.
and put
Yeah.
those in there. So just like those little bits that are more personal to the couples, we're
Hmm.
seeing a lot of. So, and I'm really excited for that. I love personal pieces. And then
Yeah.
things that are on their way out. Holy cow, that's tricky. I feel like there's so many fads that come and go.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've definitely seen less of is like the marquee letters.
Oh,
I've
sure.
the neon signs, I feel like maybe on their way out because
Yeah.
everybody had them the last year. So people are
Yeah.
looking for
Right.
something new. And then probably like super big weddings. I've seen a lot of couples really shrink down guest lists and even focus on that micro wedding or having their ceremony private and then
Right.
doing that big reception, which I think came out of COVID, and I am a fan.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. No, I love that. I think just in general, too, people are just, they're looking for, I mean, I don't know, historically we all grew up and this was my mom's wedding dress and this was her thing. And like, it was all
Oh,
about
yeah.
tradition. And now it's just seems to be more about being unique. Like I have so many people
Yeah.
tell me like, my mom's going to want this because she did it, but I don't want it. Like, like you have to be the bad guy. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. We could be the bad guy. Yeah, and that really speaks to that. I mean, yeah, the lettering, that's very interesting. No one's mentioned that before. And that is definitely something I've kind of seen disappear a little bit because it was everywhere.
Oh,
The
I
wood
I
treaty
had marquee
letters.
letters in my wedding 5
Yeah,
years ago. So
right. And it
it
was just,
yeah, it definitely has a space, but I think people, for weddings at least, are kind of backing away from it. I think I see them more like bridal showers and engagement parties.
yeah, totally. Very awesome. So if someone is just got engaged, they got engaged yesterday and they're like overwhelmed, they have no idea what direction to go. Like, what's the first thing, second thing? Like, well, what direction do you suggest they kind of go in?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is take time to enjoy it. So many people they get engaged and they pull up Instagram like, "Oh my god, I need to figure out my venue." I'm like, "Okay, relax for a second, soak it in, like have that moment with your partner, your families, your friends, all that." And then once it kind of settles and you have a better handle on your emotions and just aren't, making decisions based solely off that adrenaline, then start kind of looking. There's so many pieces that go into your wedding day. So I always think couples need to start with kind of figuring out a maximum budget and then their
Mhm.
guest list, because your guest list is really going to dictate kind of your venue, how much you're going to be spending on everything. And then from there, kind of start that venue search. I think your venue photographer and DJ or any type of entertainment are the number one, the three top things that every couple should look for first, and the rest is kind of like when you kind of figure it out. And we also offer a free timeline planning guide. So if someone that gets engaged and they don't know what they need to be doing first or anything they need to consider, they can certainly reach out to us and we can send them that timeline guide that helps kind of keep them on track for that first month.
Great. Yeah, I know you had mentioned that. And so she was saying, yeah, anyone who listens to the podcast too, especially, reach out, tell her you heard her here, and then she'll get that over to you. She'll
Yeah,
be a super great resource. So,
absolutely. Just send me
how,
an Instagram DM and I'll send that right to your inbox.
yeah, I love that. I might do it myself. I want to check it out. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So what about you? Like, how far in advance do people normally book you? And that being said, like, what is like? Do you still have availability this year? Or are you looking for 2025 right now? Like, yeah.
Yeah, so we are fortunate where we get couples that are 12 months out and then all the way to like 3 months out. So
Yeah.
that's really nice for us because we can really adjust the process based on where you're at in your wedding planning. We don't do just like a one size fit all, like, here's your template, have fun. It's very customized to where you're at in that wedding planning process.
Mhm.
But when couples book with us, we'll typically have an onboarding meeting with them to kind of go over what you have figured out right now, what questions you have, and then kind of after that, we start working on your timeline and figuring out those details. And we are booking for this year still and for 2025. I have a team. It's not just myself that does all these weddings. It's myself and Samantha as head wedding planners and coordinators. And then we have about 5 other people that act as assistants the day of. So we are definitely available. This fall is already a little booked, but we still
Yeah.
have some in October and September.
Nice. Great. And then one other question I meant to ask earlier. So obviously, Weddings by Danica is your company. And then what's RFD Weddings? Is it the
Yeah.
same company? Is it two different companies? Yeah. What's the
So
difference there?
it is two different companies. So RFD Weddings, I started during the pandemic, and it kind of fell off, but now I'm working on getting that back going. And it is solely focused on helping vendors get connected to the community. So it is a wedding blog. Right now, we just have an Instagram page, but I'm working on the website. And
Cool.
it's just a spot where we can help promote vendors for free. So instead of paying, like $200 a month for other websites that I'm not going to mention, we can help just, give them a profile on our website. We can tag them on Instagram, feature their photos or anything else that they want to share. And the purpose really is to just help spread the word because marketing gets real expensive. So anything
Mhm.
we can do to help, we are all about.
Oh, it's amazing. Awesome. I'll
Yeah.
definitely check that out too.
Yes,
Well, great.
absolutely.
Well, thanks so much for chatting with me. I mean, is there anything else you just want to like let people know, or is anything that would be helpful or useful, or that we didn't really maybe get a chance to cover?
Oh man. I don't think so. I think we were able to cover such a wide range of topics, and
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to be able to chat with you and share a little bit more about what we do in the wedding space.
Absolutely. No, I'm so glad you're able to chat with us. Like I said, reach out to Danica for their free wedding day timeline guide. Check them out on Instagram. We're going to have all of her links posted and everything. So definitely check her out. And, good luck with you planning your wedding, and definitely, reach out to Danica if you want a little help, and make it a little bit easier for you. So
Yes.
hey, awesome. Well, thanks so much for chatting with me. Again, this is Mike Sherman with Felix and Fingers Dueling Piano, signing off of another exciting episode of Eventful Endeavors. And until I see you next time, bye. Thanks for listening to another episode of Eventful Endeavors, Secrets to Crafting the Perfect Celebration. We hope to have left you with some actionable ideas for your own event. If you like the show, please subscribe and definitely leave us a review. We read every comment. So until next time, happy planning, and see you soon on Eventful Endeavors.